I just released a video about justice, and I still agree with it. I just released it, but when I listened to it, I worded some things in a way that wasn't quite accurate, and so I just want to release like a new video because I listened to his live stream and I didn't hear all of it. I listened to part of it and I heard certain things, and I still believe what I said, but I don't want to lie at all, even if it's accidental. So, um, I previously made a video, I actually just released it a few minutes ago, about justice being controlled PSY-OP opposition. And it's really looking like that. But I had released a video where I said that he didn't believe in the Bible. And so I'm going to correct that because he didn't actually say that he didn't believe in the Bible. He said that we were all programmed, everyone everywhere in the world, no matter what religion, we were all programmed. We had programming, like there was Muslim programming and Christian programming. Uh, and guys, actually, this is probably even worse because I actually did not listen to the entire live stream. I actually listened to a minority of it. And so when I actually listen to it, then I think that this video is going to be even worse than what I had released before. So I think I might take that video down. So I do believe that there is a YouTuber named Justice. I do believe he is PSY-OP Controlled Opposition. Of course, a truck drives by right as I say this, so you can't hear it. There's a YouTuber named Justice, and I do believe that he is controlled opposition. I just released a video about him, and while most of it is true, there were a couple of points that I thought I heard something and I didn't. So he was saying that all Christians were programmed, all Muslims, everybody everywhere was programmed, and he apologized for releasing any religious content. So what he said is he apologized for ever releasing any religious content, and he did so because of his own safety. He said that he was incredibly smart, essentially. Now, this is not verbatim, okay, but I just listened to this now, so it's going to be more accurate. He said that he has to dumb down his content for his viewers. Apparently, most of his viewers he thinks are idiots, and that he's incredibly smart and he has to dumb his content down for us to understand, and that none of us can understand because of our programming. And you know what? That's probably true for a lot of sheeple. For a lot of people that voted for Bush and they voted for Hillary, maybe that's the case. I don't know. But we have been learning these last 7 years or so. We've been learning a lot, so we're not quite as dumb as you think, Justice. Now, I did word this incorrectly, and I want to correct that. So, he never said that he didn't believe in the Bible. He said he apologized for releasing religious content, and basically what he said was that everything he released was calculated. Every move he did was calculated to basically save his life, protect himself. And he said that he made himself look dumb to protect his life. So essentially what he said is he was releasing false information to protect himself. And he's dumbing down his information for us because we are ignorant. Essentially, that is what he said. So, it was a live stream, and he actually did release some things that are true, but it's no longer groundbreaking. With the Diddy trial and everything else, we already know about pedophilia. It's been coming out for years now, since Trump was elected. And, yeah, so I did want to clear that up. The lies are still there. And I actually thought of another lie. Because that's the thing, I never prepare. And I swear I heard this, but I actually stayed up all night. So, what I heard was him saying, it was something that sounded like he disagreed with Christian theology, which honestly I do too. But, not all of it. A lot of it is good. But not all of it. And the same with the other religions. I don't agree with all of it. But to say that you dumb down your content for your idiot viewers, like, that's not helping anything. You have a lot of people that are probably just as intelligent, and then there's a bunch of narcs on the internet and bots. But then, when there are real people, we tend to have a brain, and we know how to use it a little bit. But yeah, this was very demeaning. It was condescending. He essentially was saying how smart he was, and like if you could see in his brain, like your mind would be blown. Like, now, after watching this, what he said sounds even worse. But I mentioned something that was not true in the previous video. So, I guess I'm just gonna take that completely down. I don't know. So, the reason I think that justice is controlled opposition is because a lot of stuff was happening in my life. I didn't know what a narcissist was, and I was doing some research. So YouTube actually suggested his videos. So I would hear often in his videos, he would say that YouTube would shadow ban or censor his videos. And this is simply not the case. This is not true at all. Because I had no idea what a chosen one was. I didn't know what a narcissist was. When I just started doing my research, I didn't know what these things were. And YouTube suggested his videos to me. They showed up on my screen. And so I watched them. And I didn't watch every single one. And I usually wouldn't watch the entire video, but I watched some of it. And enough to know that there were some problems. So, I do believe he is controlled PSY-OP, controlled opposition, but I also think that he might not even be aware of this. This is another thing to keep in mind, is the controlled opposition doesn't always know who they are or what they're doing. They might think that they are legitimate and they are genuine. But still, these people can be manipulated. So he was not being shadow banned, and he mentioned, like, even today, he mentioned that his content might be taken down for what he said. No, I bet it's still going to be there, actually, and I bet it's going to continue to be suggested to new users on YouTube. I bet it's going to continue to be suggested. Let's see, what are some of the lies? There's a lot of lies. So I'm going to start with the one that I forgot in my last video, which was, he actually did a lot of things that I liked, even though I'm older than Justice, so it may not look like it. I actually probably look younger than him, but I'm actually older. I'm quite a bit older than him. But anyways, I like that we had a lot of things in common, seemingly, and I have absolutely no attraction in that way. So don't get this misconstrued. But when you're in isolation and God's not allowing you to speak to anybody, and you've got all these problems, it's nice to go online and see there's somebody else in a similar situation, at least in some regards, you know. It's not just me. I'm not the only one. You know what I mean, guys. But one of the first lies that I noticed, I just kept, like, getting disappointed and noticing lies. This was a continual thing. So, he said, like, about eating healthy was really important, about the chemicals, and I think he would say we'd eat organic and stuff like that. And so I'm like, oh, great, I do too. And I like that. It was nice to find somebody that cared about healthy eating and avoided these chemicals and GMOs. So, he had talked about this for a while. Now, I didn't watch all of his videos, but I'd watch them on and off for the greater part of 2 years. And in the beginning, he mentioned this a lot, about eating clean, eating healthy. And then when he posted a video eating a pizza and eating fast food, like junk food, then I was like, wait, that, and he was like, oh, it's my birthday, or, oh, it's, you know, it's convenient, you know. And that seemed hypocritical, especially given the amount of money it cost to buy these foods at the restaurant. It wasn't cheap, and it relied on getting donations from users, and this was based on a lie, because when you have a persona, and you live based on certain morals and values, then maybe your viewers expect you to adhere to those when they donate to you. So when you continually tell them that you eat organic and you eat healthy food, people donate money to you. You go to the fast food place, or you get a euro or something. That seemed hypocritical. I mean, and it's probably worse to just eat it in secret. But I was disappointed because, you know, silly me, I expected him to actually be telling the truth when he said that he ate clean food and eating non-GMO and without chemicals was important. And then there was many videos of him trying to quit vaping. This was another thing. I'm like, great, because I truly believe God called me to vape. As many chosen ones, God calls us to quit smoking or vaping or even hard drugs. And this is part of breaking generational curses. I think we all have to go through this. But for some reason, Justice is not going through this. He talked about quitting a lot. There's some videos of him quitting and trying not to do it, and then he wasn't doing it, and then, little whiles later, and he is vaping nonstop. Every video, he is not just vaping normally. He's sucking on that thing, like, every breath. He's using the vape pen. I forget what they're called, but anyways, I used to use them. I know what they're like and I enjoy them. But God called me to quit. And I was using organic liquid. I didn't think it was bad for me. I didn't feel unhealthy using it, and I just had a bunch of liquid that I had purchased. But God called me to quit. Just like God will call you guys to quit stuff too. We don't want to. And I didn't want to, and I didn't think it was unhealthy. I had like the healthiest setup I could get, I thought. I mean, maybe not, but I thought it was. And and so I wasn't happy about it. But, you know, if God tells me to do something, I'm going to do it. So, and I don't get spoken to. I just get circumstances and a series of events that makes it quite clear. So anyways, I had 3 vape pens, and they all died at the exact same time. And this could have been the narcissist. But if the narcissist somehow, like, fried them using some Wi-Fi laser, I don't know what they would do. But if somehow they were able to destroy my vape pens all at the same time, and I think this was, well, you know what, maybe I went to sleep and when I woke up they didn't work, but I kind of think that they all stopped working in the evening at the same time. So I had been up, they were working earlier in the day, and then they all stopped at the same time. So I'm thinking maybe some technology or signal was used to cause these to be fried. I don't know. But if the narcissist did this, then God allowed the narcissist not very smart. Actually, God probably told the narcissist to do it. And then I also had no vehicle, and I was all by myself, stuck at home. And when the narcissist did stop by, it was to poison my food and to release mice into the basement. I mean, it wasn't good when the narcissist came over. They weren't going to drive me to the store. I had no way, and this is where I lived at the time, was far away. It would have probably taken all day to walk to a store, and this is unsafe. A lot of cars zipping by, to walk to a store that sold something. So maybe I could have gotten a disposable solution at a gas station after a few-hour walk, but then I tried everything to get these to work. They all failed. So then I just figured out that God wanted me to quit, so I did. Well, anyways, Justice never quit smoking or vaping like the rest of us chosen ones did. No, he continues to use it and has no, he seems to have no desire to quit, even though all the chosen ones are called to quit smoking and vaping. Even if it's not bad for us, it's breaking a curse on our bloodline. So that's why it's important. And I always recommended people to vape, like smokers. Not if you don't do anything. If you don't do anything, don't do it. But if you smoke cigarettes, I would recommend you to vape and use the organic liquid. And yes, there is a difference, guys. I had used the PG. There's vegetable glycerin, and I forget what the other one's called. But anyways, the PG was harsh and it irritated my throat. The vegetable glycerin did not at all. So there is a difference between the organic and the inorganic, actually. The organic never made me feel sick, and the chemical stuff did. I didn't use that very much, just a little bit in the beginning. So he lied about that, and I was inspired to make this video because he was on a live stream. It popped up on my feed. I clicked on it. And then within like a minute of this live stream, he said that like he made videos about Chosen Ones and released Chosen One stuff just to make money, and it was all a fraud. It was all a scam. And he apologized if he ever released any religious content, that he's incredibly intelligent and he had to dumb down all of his material for us to understand. And the problem is there's a lot of narcs out there. They pretend not to understand. And they trick us that way. And that's why when something looks suspicious, when somebody is manipulating us, they often play dumb. Narcissists play dumb. And I might see this behavior in justice as well. Do I know 100%? No. But it's pretty suspicious. And it happened to be that when I give people the benefit of the doubt, they tend to be manipulating me. And actually, I think in every case they were manipulating me when I give them the benefit of the doubt. They even have like an explanation for things, which justice does not. It's just lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. Yeah, so he lied about getting this dog, which is completely ridiculous. He was living in his car and wanted to adopt a dog. We all know there was no room for the dog because he was recording himself in the car and he was laying on a mound of clothing. So I don't know if he wanted a dog unless it was pocket size where it was going to go. But yeah, I can get that actually. But he wanted to adopt this dog that had like $1,000 adoption fee, which is insane. Like, you know, where I used to live, it was like $18 to maybe $50 to adopt a dog. And then to get a new puppy that was 8 weeks old was $250. And that's where they made big money at this one place. But he wasn't getting a puppy. And the adult dogs were not very expensive to adopt. So, I mean, it could be different in his state. But $1,000 to adopt a dog is quite ridiculous. So, he put the... he put, like, I think it was on his cell phone. He put the screen onto, I don't remember how he did this, but he showed the dog somehow. Maybe he had, like, a dash cam, and he was using a cell phone display to show. I don't remember exactly. But anyways, he showed the viewers this dog. It was cute. But he asked for donations to get this dog. And a lot of people donated to him. And then the next day, he said, I didn't get the dog. I can't get the dog. My bills are this much. So he used all of the donations on his bills. The people donated to him so he could have this dog. And he not only did this once, he did this twice. And the second time he did it, and that's what I mean. He's playing in your face. If this happens to be legitimate, I don't know. I'm going to have to add playing, I will put this Justice Part 2, corrections, playing in your face. I don't know what I'm going to, I think I'll keep the other one. Because here I go, I'm trying to redo this video and it's not even as good, but, he asked for donations once. People donated, and I think he actually had enough to buy this dog. People donated so much money to him. And next day is like, oh, I didn't get it. I had so many bills, all my money was used up. And then later he asked for donations for the same. He's like, I found the dog. And then next day, oh, I couldn't get the dog because the place I'm staying doesn't allow dogs. So you didn't find that out before you asked people for $1,000 again? And that's what I mean. It looks like I made one $5 sale. It looks like that's going to fall through because the only item that I don't have fucking sold. And that's what I mean. Like, and no one cares. No one cares. But there's a lot of people that donate to justice, which is more proof. That is more proof that he's controlled opposition. Because, like, his content is really suggested, it's recommended, it's pushed and promoted by YouTube. At least it was in the beginning. And now he's got a pretty good base. And no, he's probably not rolling in tons of money. I'm not saying that. But he has so many more followers than most of us do. Um, and this isn't a pity party for me. Okay, it's not. Because God has a plan for all of us, and what I've released so far, I guess, just wasn't good enough, or that's not my breakthrough. I understand that. But I have a little more than 100 followers, and I've been like cranking videos out for more than a year. He's got more than 60,000. Okay, and I'm not jealous. I totally see God controls this, but he is actually getting quite a lot of donations and still not doing well. And apparently this is because of legal issues. I don't know. That was mentioned today. But to have these legal problems, then perhaps he also was doing something that he shouldn't have been based on his licensing agreements. And I guess that's a mistake we can all make. So I don't want to bash that. He probably is being targeted, and what I think is maybe he had the chance to be a chosen one and then kind of failed. That's what maybe, if this is legitimate, that he had a chance to be a chosen one and dropped the ball. And I could be wrong. This is me expressing my opinion based on circumstantial evidence. But I can't believe, I actually still had the tab open, and then I closed my browser and opened it again, and then it was playing. And then I'm like, oh, he did not say that he doesn't believe in the Bible. But he apologized for ever posting religious content, and he basically said everything he ever posted was calculated. And it was to make himself look a certain way to people that were after him or something, and it wasn't because that's what he honestly felt. So I'm just going to say that's lying. That really is lying. You guys can listen to it for yourself. But, as bad as that is, it sounds even worse to say that your viewers are idiots. And the thing is that there's just a lot of narcs out there. But then, there's real people in there too. And they're not idiots. But yeah, bots and the narcs dumb down the comment section. But they're going to continue to do that. It's kind of interesting, I guess. One thing I forgot to mention about Justice in the very beginning that I did not like about him. One thing that I did not like is that he would make these videos like he was living in his car, and he had just been poisoned and attacked by narcs, and he was in such a bad situation. Okay, so he put all this content out there, and I believe that that's probably all true. But he created this image of himself like he was in desperate need of help. And that brought in donations too, yes. But then some of his viewers really wanted to help. They saw this and were like, oh no, come stay with me. He had people watching his channel come stay with me, and they wanted to hang out with him. They wanted to help him. They wanted him to stay. He could park in their driveway, or he could stay in their home where they had an extra room. I remember this. So he was on the internet saying what a horrible situation he was. And then he had people commenting and inviting him to stay with them. And I'm like, oh great, that will solve all the problems. And you know what? He didn't. He didn't accept it. He kept intentionally choosing to live in his vehicle. And then he did say, oh, there's all these narcs after me. I can't live with somebody. And be that true or not, the way he handled this was incredibly disrespectful. And one of the first things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way is this is not a good man. This is not the person that maybe some people think he is. He portrays himself as someone in desperate need of help. Then when help is offered, he not only rejects that help, but he is really quite rude about it. So, he didn't tell anyone thank you. He didn't, and that this is what I thought was not right. As he should have said, he didn't even say thank you to any of his people. He didn't even reply to them. He ignored them, or he didn't respond to them, by typing or anything. He's like, I can't stay with anyone because narcs are after me. But he should have said, thank you. I really appreciate the offer, guys. It's great. I have to be careful because of my situation. People invite me over, but they're really working for the Kingdom of Darkness, so I just can't do that. He could have said that. He could have said, thank you. I'd really appreciate it. I've had problems in the past, though, and I've been set up, so I can't just stay with it. No, he didn't say thank you, and he didn't even say anything at all. So this was totally out of line. And I kept giving him the benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt over and over again. I'm sorry to make this again. I'm not trying to drag this out forever. But I actually accidentally said some things that he did not say in the previous video. So this is a correction. And then I remembered, oh yeah, he lied about the food. He lied about eating healthy. He lied about quitting vaping. He lied about needing a place to stay because many people offered him a place to stay and he didn't want it. He didn't want it. And he kept lying about being single and then he was having girlfriends. He kept lying about not masturbating and then he would come on like, oh, I did it. And then he'd tell people how awful masturbating is. And I say, guys, this is another thing about justice. It's ridiculous, okay? Yeah, doing it too much is not good. I'm going to say it. I don't want to lie. This is my opinion, so I could be wrong. I don't think it's a sin. But if you do it too much, then it becomes gluttony, and that can be problematic and invite demons. But anyways, he would have this image all high and mighty, like masturbating is wrong, and masturbating is a sin, and I don't have any girlfriends, so he's completely celibate. He would portray himself this way, as completely celibate and not masturbating. And how that, it's not worth it for a moment of pleasure. And I'm like, what the heck is this? Okay, I don't agree with that at all. But, maybe we can all be guilty of doing things too much. But I never agree with this message, and I don't like it. What is not allowed is fornicating. And it looks like that's what he has done. Now, maybe he got married before he had many children. I don't know. But what I'm seeing is hypocrisy and lies, telling us a good way to live our lives and living the opposite way. I'm going to say honestly, guys, I don't think anyone right now in the United States should be telling us not to masturbate. Don't look at porn. No, but I'm saying is right now we are in such a bad situation. People need to be told not to go on dating apps and just have one night stands. That's where we are. We need to start there. So it looks like he was going out and hooking up and having girlfriends while telling us not to masturbate. And maybe I'm wrong, but that sure as heck is what it looks like. And then he said he had a wife. And then I thought today in his video he said he wasn't married. So he had a girlfriend. He had a child with a girlfriend. So he was fornicating while telling us not to masturbate. My goodness. This guy. And, maybe I'm wrong. But see, his videos show up on my feed, and when I don't really have anything else to watch, sometimes I'll click on it, because, as I said before, he lies so much, I want to see what the lie is today. And this whole holier than thou, I eat organic, and then I see him on the video, you guys do too, come on now, he's buying pizza, and he's just buying, tacos or something, from any place which is full of chemicals and it's bad meat. The animals have been tortured. It's factory farmed. It's full of GMOs. A lot of people do that. But he actually talked about how he didn't do that before. That's what makes this so bad. And he said how he was quitting vaping. And now he vapes so much. He's vaping more than he's breathing air. I don't understand this lie. And how he said the chosen one thing is made up. No, it's not. There are real chosen ones, and he's telling us that we aren't real. We aren't real. While he goes and does everything he tells us not to do. And apparently he mentioned in his video, people were saying he was the devil. People were saying he was the devil. And it was I thought that was silly. I wouldn't think that. But now that I've described all of this, it actually sounds a lot like the devil. Devil is not that scary, guys, honestly. They are more interesting creatures who are working against us. At least the demons are. But, yeah, actually, maybe. I just thought he was a regular guy. But I will say thank you. thank you, Justice, for coming out and telling the truth in your video. You did admit, he did, and I think he admitted before, that he just used the Chosen One stuff to make money. But here's the problem, is that the Chosen Ones are real. He has controlled opposition. The 144 are alive right now. And I figured this out. This is about, and I looked this up a few months ago. To the best of my knowledge, I tried to calculate it based on the number of people in my town and the number of people in the world. And I do believe there's one of us in every city. I do believe so. So it's not very many. But that's just the beginning. And from there it spreads to countless, many multitudes. So perhaps he had a chance. Or perhaps he wasn't one. I don't know. Yeah, that's not very many chosen. But I do know that God has a standard for his prophets, and that we are blameless. And how can you be blameless when you live a life of hypocrisy and you are stealing donations? And the second time he asked donations for this dog, he said, if anyone contacts me, I'll refund their money. Well, what if somebody didn't see that live stream? You know, if he really cared, he'd just refund everyone's donations. But he actually wanted them to contact him, or he wasn't going to refund the money. It's just anything. I just constantly see lies. Constantly see lies. And I'm not trying to bash Justice. I give him, like, so many opportunities to start telling the truth. But it seemed that every time he had a chance to tell the truth or lie, he lied. You know, you gotta look at the fruit. And what I see is not the best. And actually, I listened to the end of this live stream. It inspired me to make this video. And he was complaining about, like, how he shouldn't have to have a job, and people are saying, I get this money, I don't have a job, you have more than me, or something. He's probably not doing well financially. I don't deny that. He's probably in debt. He probably is. But he's just, like, laying there and on the live stream. He's like, I shouldn't have to have a job, you know. Well, you know, maybe we will be there one day. But God actually has certain rules for us. And if you have a wife or a girlfriend who's not a wife that you fornicated with and got pregnant, then it's pretty hard for her to be pregnant and grow that baby. And then giving birth to that baby is very difficult and painful. And then it's going to be like a job to feed that baby and change that baby and stay up with it. So what are you bringing to the table? Nothing except for debt, it appears. So he's placing no value on her labor and her delivery. And I would tell you guys, like, the narcissist cursed me to make those things really bad. But I would rather have a job than go through that again. I honestly would. But the narcissist was cursing me. So actually, I think that it might not be that bad if it wasn't a narc. Like, seriously, the narc cursed me and used spells to give me back labor. But anyways, it's not easy. So if she's going to be going through this, and when the baby's born, she's going to have to feed it and take care of it, what are you going to do, Justice? Because, see, if you don't have to work, then she doesn't have to take care of that baby. This is so ridiculous. And I'm just looking at these videos now to see what the new lie of the day is. And I hate to, you know, come on here and be mean to anyone. I'm not trying to be mean to anyone. But I did get a bit annoyed with his belief in the Pauline doctrine, which does benefit him. That was quite annoying, especially given how he distrusts the establishment and he distrusts religion. He sure loves the part where women should submit, even though Jesus doesn't say that. None of the apostles say that. It's only Saul of Tarsus. We don't have our two witnesses. And Saul of Tarsus says that he's a Pharisee. It's at Acts 23:6. Go to your Bible. Go to the book of Acts. I think it's chapter 23:6, where Paul says he is a Pharisee. And he's talking to other Pharisees. And these books with the word submission, that book from Paul is actually, it's not a verified source. So it's not, it has unknown authorship. So some books are very reputable, like we have documentation on who wrote them and where they came from. But the book about submission is loosely tied to Paul. But nobody really knows who wrote it. So it's not a good source to use. So it's attributed to Paul, but he didn't really write it, seeing as the writing style is very different. And scholars actually believe that he did not write this. Someone else wrote it, so they think probably they hired somebody to mail these letters out to churches. And so that's what I meant, is they weren't mailing these letters out to the church goers. They were mailing them out to the church leaders, who were the Pharisees. And they were saying, we're not trying to change gender relations, and we're not trying to change idol worship. Because what the Pharisees taught was, you know the truth, but you don't have to do what's right. Okay, very much like what modern Christian churches tell you. Accept Jesus in your heart, but it doesn't matter how you live, and it doesn't matter if you sin. This is what the Pharisees taught then. So Paul employed people to send letters to these churches to invite people to come, and they wanted to get converts. They wanted to get new members for their church. So, of course, they couldn't send anything too controversial, or it'd be instantly tossed away, and no one would be able to attend. And this is actually what appears to be the truth. So it could be of wisdom that they wrote such things. So then why was it included in the Bible? And at first it's like, this shouldn't be in the Bible, but actually now I know that it should be. It should be because God wants us to know what the Pharisees taught. God wants us to know what made Jesus so angry, what Jesus knew was wrong and disagreed with. Well, now we know, because the way to find out what made Jesus so angry is we know that Paul says he's a Pharisee, and we know that he was trained by like Gamaliel, who was like a Pharisee, and so his theology was from the Pharisees and Sadducees. Or sorry if I'm saying something wrong. I haven't heard anyone else, but he actually says in the Bible that, and this is from a different book, not one that he wrote or his staff wrote, but a different authorship, and he says that he's a Pharisee. And then we have Jesus, and we have oh my gosh, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Okay, you guys, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, these people actually worked with Jesus. They knew Jesus. So if you read these books, and you compare them to what's in the epistles of Paul. So this is how you find out what the Pharisees believed. Is that you take what Jesus said, and what all the apostles said in those books. So it doesn't even mean the apostles wrote those books, but people that served under them, that heard them preach and teach, wrote those books. So it's going to be a lot better. It's at least going to kind of follow the same rules and guidelines, okay? So you take what Jesus said and what the apostles said, and then you compare that to what's in the epistles of Paul, which does not have a second witness. And so if something is only in the epistles of Paul and Jesus doesn't confirm it and the apostles don't confirm it, then it's a teaching of the Pharisees. And this is how you can find. And actually there might be something that doesn't contradict. But there are actually many things that do. So anyways, this is what what's his name? Justice, who won't tell us his real name, but he wants our real money. This is what Justice listens to, he agrees to. False doctrine, which God has sent me on mission to correct. And God has a mission for you too. God has a mission for all of us. And you can be a chosen one. So don't listen to him. See, he's trying to discredit the whole chosen one movement, but actually right now is the time where we step up and become chosen ones. This is very important right now. God is calling all of us. We have the 144 chosen ones. I am one of them, okay? Look at this. I am one, okay? And there's a lot of other people, okay? There's 143,999, and what happens from there? Many multitude also come to faith. So then, after us, almost everyone else. Majority of people left. Probably. I'm just guessing based on scripture. Book of Revelations. That probably the majority of people on earth eventually go through the refining process. And they become chosen. So now is the time for you. Now is the time for you to become chosen. I'm like Uncle Sam for the chosen. Now is the time for you to become chosen. So don't listen to Justice and his lies. To be chosen means that if you vape, you gotta quit. I'm sorry. I don't like it either. And I didn't think it was bad. And I defended this stuff and I told people to do it. But when God told me to stop, I did. Well, Justice did not. And God showed me that Saul of Tarsus is a traitor who pretends to be on your side and how it works. But Justice defends Saul of Tarsus. And, you know, I have messed up. I have messed up and possibly even sinned recently with my food choices. They would send food. I had food delivery and there was something with pork in it. And then I ate some GMOs. So I'm not sure if that's a sin or not, because if you accidentally eat it, it's not a sin. But then I ate like another bite or two of it, so, you know, I might have sinned. And I before then I thought maybe I did it, but, you know, I can say, like, you know, we are strengthened by God's Holy Spirit. Jesus was strengthened by the Holy Spirit. And if God pulls it away, then we become weak. And I was feeling rather hungry. So, yeah, I don't know. When I stopped vaping, I need to satisfy myself another way. So, possibly I've sinned. I did repent. I'm going to try my best. But we are blameless before the Lord. So, chosen ones, if we do sin, it's in a way that doesn't harm, and doesn't intentionally harm others. Like, it would only harm ourselves. So, not like earlier, but once we accept our mission, and our mission begins, and we start to learn, and there's heavy warfare going on, then we won't be lying, cheating, or stealing. Things that we might have done in the past. But we might do something like gluttony, or self-harm, or addiction still, until we can quit. But we are quitting. So that's what I mean. When we are blameless, we are not hurting others at this point. So, but you too can be a chosen one. Don't listen to Justice. He's not a chosen one, because he's going to keep vaping forever and lying about everything and stealing your donations. Wonder what fake dog he's going to invent next. But, you know, there's always a small chance that actually he's the one person that was actually trying to tell the truth and not trying to trick us. But it's looking pretty suspicious to me. I don't trust anyone. Because every time I give people the benefit of the doubt, they are lying to take advantage of me or you or any of us chosen ones. They see our compassion and empathy as a weakness, so they take advantage of it. And to me, it sure does look like Justice is playing in our faces. Now, if I be wrong, I do apologize, but I have to look at the evidence and say, I don't know 100% that this is true, so I'm clearing my name here. But I would say 99%, it sure looks like that. And he can also be controlled opposition without even being aware of that himself. He might not even know that. There's a type of conditioning someone goes through to have certain beliefs and, like, you know, where they can just lie, they can say something and do the opposite, and it's not a big deal. I mean, maybe there's some type of trauma that happens. I don't know, guys. And I'm not trying to bash anyone, but he's got a huge following. A huge following online. And YouTube recommended his channel to me. It was one of the first, I think it was the first channel I saw on Narcissist, no, it was the first one I saw on Chosen Ones. I'm like, what's a Chosen One? And when I heard it on his channel, and I did subscribe, I'm like, oh. And I thought Justice looked kind of silly, but I thought it was cool. Like, he had his own thing going, but I thought it was a little silly at first. But I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's got his own thing. I can respect that. But, I can't respect somebody that is playing in my face and lying to his viewers. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless you.